They say walk in your truth and not in your shadows. They also tell you you're too much, making you feel like a burden, but they always want you to speak up for what isn't spoken. Unspoken truth, hiding behind an unspoken poet, unspoken stories, never get told by unspoken words.
Yo, what's good? It's your girl, Becky the Poet. Welcome to the Unspoken Words Podcast, you guys. This is an exciting episode. You know why? It's episode 99. It's like the week before, or maybe it's a couple of days before episode 100. But, and it's close to my 3-year anniversary. So how does that work out? It worked out great. So I hope you guys enjoyed season 10. We're not done yet. We still got this episode you're listening to and the next one and the previous ones you can just re-listen. So we have a special guest today. His name is Dawun-Jamaal. He's a music artist. He's a creative. He actually, you know what? He does it all. I'm going to have him explain his resume to you.
What's up? Well, yes, I am Dawun-Jamaal. I'm a singer, songwriter, curator, EP albums. I think I'm the plug.
You are the plug. I just saw you worked with Preach.
Yes, I did.
And Monet Black on their. You had them on your album, and then you helped. I don't know. Is Preach creating his own EP?
Well, it's out. Preach. I got to EP, Preach the Poets EP along with Da Vinci. Sacrifice. So yeah, that's already out. Monet is out on 12/6.
Nice.
Yeah, and Chirac, that's the next one, which comes out this upcoming Thursday. So I'm excited about that.
I love that I know these names.
Yeah.
Just because like I went to one of your events and I was like, this is amazing. And I really thought...
You performed at one of my events.
I did. I was there. I was
Yeah.
performing there.
Yeah.
I will say this. I love the way you host your event. And I'm going to tell you guys, he hosted his event at a salon shop, right? Which when you walk in, you're like, what am I doing here? And then when he sets it up, you're like, oh, like this is a vibe, you know? I love how everybody has been to your events multiple times and they know how it flows. And then for me just being there the first time, I was like, wow, like we're all like meshing right now.
Yeah.
The way you host the event, the energy you bring, you don't let anybody like shy away. Right. And I love that, you know. I will say this too, like your lineups, the people you choose to be. What do you call us?
The cast.
The cast. Yes.
The
cast you choose, it all flows and it fits. You know. I want to know, how did you find everybody to be on your cast?
That's a good question.
Oh, actually, let's go ahead and tell them about the abnormal review first, and then we'll go into the cast.
Great. Okay, so the Abnormal Review is it's a showcase where I have singers, rappers, and poets. And I've met these people just through going around, like different events or word of mouth, anything. And it's more of a thing of if I like you, I'm going to hit you up and be like, hey, you know. But it has to be someone who is actively pursuing whatever they're doing. Right. You know, it's not an open mic. It's a showcase.
Right.
And so I think that's another thing that sets the Abnormal Review apart from we are actually showcasing artists. So that's why I picked the type of people that I picked.
Right.
And I mean, that's just how it happens. And it kind of keeps growing and growing and growing the more that I put the showcase on. Yeah.
I will say a lot of people you put on your cast, they've reached out to you to help them create a project or another project or grow and expand, you know? And you know, you call yourself a plug, but you are a resource. You know, you are like a teacher, a mentor to these people who reach out to you, because as poets, we don't know always how to create a poetry EP, right? Like literally like I'm only like doing this just because I helped somebody else and I was like, yo, like let's try to do this, but it's a lot harder, right? You kind of have, I did one I did recordings drunk as fuck, and we
I
had
heard
to
about
like
those.
re-record all of them. It was so bad. It was so crazy. But we had good like transitions because those were hilarious.
So you still get to use them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said a lot of things, a lot of cussing. But I will say I'm excited to hear everybody's project.
Thank you.
I'm excited to hear like everything you did for them. You know, I want to go to another Abnormal Review. Where are you headed with that in 2021?
Well, we're going on the road.
Okay.
We're going to try to go on the road. I did a tour 2019. We went to my hometown and we did 2 nights. I don't know how it's going to happen, especially with Corona, because I mean the places you have to do smaller capacity. It's just a different way of marketing it. You have to have the visual.
Right.
The virtual aspect added to it as well. So, so figuring out that I'm still having the Abnormal Review, just limited edition. So I'm having one on the
kind of turning it into like a speakeasy.
Sorta. I mean, that's what we have to do. But you know what? A lot of people are having full out events with big crowds, and I don't see how. Yeah,
I was just talking about that a few times in this season, like how I haven't stepped out to any events.
Me neither.
Really,
and I hate that.
I stepped out to a couple before, but then I also get in like anxiety of like bringing it home, and
Exactly.
and I think that's a scare for a lot of people. I love the fact that people are doing it virtually, right? I know, like, even in Oklahoma, there's a poetry open mic that they've taken it and done it in someone's living room, a whole band and everything. And I thought that was amazing, just because, like I don't know, like, you don't think a band could be your whole living room and then having like good music, and then people just, I tuned in and I was like, this is beautiful, right?
I do like how people are innovating, though, the places where you will have a show. Because that's something like having the Abnormal Review at the salon is very COVID.
Right.
Like, where could we go and do something, And so just seeing the innovation in people and how they're doing these shows, or getting to see people's living rooms.
Right.
And their dens in their backyards.
And
stuff like that.
drive-ins and stuff. I heard that people were doing pull-up and park.
I saw, it was a group of people doing something like that.
So I know people are taking it to a whole new level, And the next thing you know, we're going to have hologram shows or whatever.
Right. Where they're it's right in front of you.
So I know the Abnormal, you're gonna go on tour and you're still trying to figure that out. But for yourself, what other projects are you coming out with for yourself? Because I know you dropped your music album beforehand last time we talked, right? I know you've been helping other people, but have you had time for yourself?
Yes, I'm actually working on my album. Thinking of a first to second quarter release, but I have a lot of songs already recorded. I was going to release a deluxe version of my album. I was going to release an EP. And then, I just decided not to do that, to start something new. The Jesus Year era was so epic for me.
Right.
It opened up a lot of more doors and made people really see me.
Right.
And I want to leave it there. So yes, I'm working on my new
So you
album.
set yourself up for a higher bar. So
And that's what's scary about this is coming back, because everybody liked the Jesus Year so much. It's like, can you do it again?
Right.
I'm thinking, can I do it again? Also, just piggybacking off of that, doing Chirac's next EP.
Right.
This is his second one. I got to do his first one. And so, like, Preach is in Monet Black. This is my first one with them. You're just pushing them out there with the first one. The sophomore effort is so I'm getting nervous right now talking about it, because I know that the music is good. I like the sound and what we've created, but it's just people listening to it, like, will they get where we're taking him and his sound?
So when you're helping other artists on their projects, what role do you play?
I executive produce it. I find the tracks. I orchestrate the features. A lot of times I write the hooks, some of the hooks, and I'll present them. When you said earlier, a lot of people don't know how to put together a spoken word EP. I did not know how to put together a spoken word EP until we started putting together Preaches, because initially I was putting it together like
a music, right?
And I had to think, he's a poet. We're gonna need acapellas.
Yeah.
We're gonna need stuff centered around poetry.
Because you don't want it to be, I guess, taken away by other like aspects of like,
the beat,
rapping,
the singing, all
like
of that.
A singer overpowers a poet.
Exactly.
And not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying maybe for that purpose, that's not the reason why.
Right.
We have certain. I know it's you don't want to overpower it, right?
Mm-hmm. We wanted to make the best arena for Preach to excel.
So you guys ever had to start over and then start up again?
Preach is the easiest person in the world to work with.
I've worked with Preach and have met shows.
All of the
amazing.
work happened. That's what I'm saying. We did pretty much everything that we needed to do. Preach is a one and done. He comes in, da. We like, you sure you don't want to give it another go?
He's like, no, I like it. I'm good.
I like it. I'm cool with where it is. He's the easiest. It's the other people. Monet. Well, no, let me stop. I'm not.
You better be nice.
Yes, I'm being nice.
She worked hard on this.
No, she worked really hard. And people are really gonna get a view into her.
I like a whole different side that we don't know.
Oh yeah, I was excited to get to know this side of her, because putting her project together was different than putting Preaches together, but doing Preaches first is gonna make hers better.
Yeah,
I can tell you that. Each project is gonna elevate.
Yeah, well, because you've already experienced one, even though it was your first time,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what to do, what not to do, and how to do better.
Right.
So it's nice to be like, all right, Monet's gonna have a doper project than Preach. But even though Preach is still dope, I know you watch this, you'll be like, oh shit.
We're not saying doper, but we're saying we're figuring out the formula.
Right.
We're perfecting.
And we're finding Monet's formula.
Yes.
And not Preach's formula into Monet's.
Exactly.
So you have worked with a lot of artists out here in Dallas. I know when I went to Abnormal Review, Kiana Lynn, her voice is beautiful. I discovered new voices. I ran into all these artists. So do you see Abnormal Review transitioning into ever something else? Do you ever see yourself creating new avenues for different types of artists?
A production company. I don't want to necessarily say a label, but definitely a production company where we're writing, producing, doing events, doing merchandise.
Right.
It's a whole. It's a whole vibe. It's a whole movement, So yeah, I see all of that, but the capital.
So in 2021, do you think you'll set foot into that, or do you still will be planning?
I think everything I'm doing now is getting my resume, continuing my resume, getting my credentials. Working with all of these Dallas artists is really cementing me, and it's. I can tell you that I'm dope all day, but you can see I want my work to speak for me. And so right now, like when I am at a place where I can get a space or an office, heck yeah, I'm setting up for all of that right now. I don't have plans for that yet.
I will say,
but that's it.
I will say this. I love that you give 110% into you helping other people's work, because your name is like, not just because your name's on it, but because you want them to have a good project, right? But it's also a plus because your name is on it too. So it's like, when they ask the poets or they ask the music artists who helped you with this, they'll be like Dawun-Jammal, which is always like, it's great to hear, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like, even when I help other people and I see them grow, and it's like, shit, like I was a part of that, right? Even then, like with this happening, I always mention my videographer, Dennis, and then I'm calling my manager now. We're episode 99. She might as well be.
Your manager.
But Simone, that helped me got this far, you know, because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for them, like, we wouldn't be right here in season 10, you know? I'm pretty sure I probably would have given up a long time ago, like I did the first time. But I will say this. You've done a lot. You helped out a lot. And I applaud you for helping these creatives, you know, grow and help them with their projects, because, you know, it shows that you're selfless, you know? And it shows that you care about, like, the creative community, you know? And I can say this, like, I know we tend to get competitive when it comes down to, like, I got to be better than this person, that person. But you want to help everybody, you know? And that's amazing. What don't you do and that you want to do?
I wish I could dance.
You can't dance?
I mean, I can do a little one, two.
I'm not even going front.
I can have fun at the party, but I wish I could learn choreography.
I will.
And stuff like that. I probably could, but that's a whole nother.
Hey, I know people,
thing.
but I tried it. Tried it one event. Didn't really go through with it. It's just so nerve wracking when it's finally time to dance and you're ready for it.
I don't get how people can remember all of the.
Like the 1, 2,
1, 2, 3, 4,
twirl.
5, 6, 7, 8. I don't, but I wish I could. I wish I could dance.
So walking into 2021, what are 3 things you can tell somebody who is, you know, I guess creating something for themselves, but also the person that helps other people? What are 3 things you can give them to advice to, you know, I guess still also do for themselves?
If you have a goal, number 1, put time into it. You have to work it like it's a job. Give a couple of hours to it a day. Like whether it's sitting at a desk or strategically planning or writing, sit down and actually devote time to it. Number 2, I would say, is who you know is great, but who they know is better.
Yeah.
Because you already got the who you know.
Right.
You want to know who they know.
Right.
That's going to help you do whatever you do, because word of mouth.
Right.
Again, you know, references. Who can refer people to go look at Unspoken Word?
Right.
To go listen to anything that I've done or help. Who else? You know. And then I'll say number 3 is
You gave me 2 good ones, I'll tell you that.
Dang. Don't look for support. In the sense of likes, views, people telling you that you're great. Don't look for that, because you're not gonna be doing it for you. You're gonna be doing it for likes and views. And that's not support. That's validation. Like, do what you do because you like doing it. I promise the people who F with it will F with it.
I like that. I like that last one, because we always post for validation a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
And we don't just post for ourselves, you know, or even just do things for ourselves.
But right, because you'll do something that you love doing and you don't get the
enough likes, right?
Right, you don't get the validation or the attention that you think, and you second guess yourself, and it's like, no, you're doing a great job at being you.
When you delete the photo, right? It didn't do too well.
Like, don't do that. Don't set a bar that high for yourself. You know, if you like it, if you're investing in it, as long as you put in your soul in what you're doing, it's good.
Well, I love those advice. Yeah. So you already gave us 3 positive things, but I wanted you to give us a quote, either from you or even a joke, or even you can give us a little snippet of some songs, you know, little acapella stuff before we end up the episode.
Oh, that was a good one. I want to sing, so I will give you a cappella.
Okay.
But what will I a cappella? I can't believe that I made it here. I'm seeing clear. I understand the power of another year. It felt like I was wasting time, just misaligned, not paying attention to the clues right before my eyes. I had to learn to watch my moves and what I do, and realize that every battle You can't pursue, don't let outside get inside your head. It's just that he say, she said, that he say, she said. Thank you so much for having me.
I asked for this last episode and I still love it this episode. I'll tell you that. Go ahead and give us your social media, where they can find Abnormal Review or anything.
An Instagram head. So if you want to find anything about me, it's Dawun-Jamaal, ITSDAWUNJAMAAL. It's so long.
I know. When I looked you up, I'm like, what am I gonna do?
Right. But you can find me there. The Abnormal Review, it's on the 21st of this month, and it'll be virtual. I'll post all of that information to my social media. I want to say to you though, thank you for having me. Thank you for.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for performing at the Abnormal Review, and thank you for what you're doing for yourself. But you don't understand that what you're doing for yourself is good for us. For the community, the artist community.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you if nobody's told you that.
Aw, guys, episode 99. It's amazing. Yeah. I'm glad I ended it with you.
Thank you.
I might have you again for episode 100. You never know.
You never know.
All right, you guys, we are out. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my YouTube at Becky the Poet. And then follow me on Instagram, Becky the Poet, and the podcast, Unspoken Words Podcast. All right, you guys. Love y'all.